democracy is revered around the world, and free elections are the best way on earth to choose our leaders. You do not keep American democracy in suspense.
Michelle Obama on the campaign trail out in Arizona, taking out after Donald Trump and, of course, endorsing Mrs. Clinton in the race for president. And you heard her lecture there about holding out on the election. Now, Mrs. Obama is going to team up with Hillary Clinton for joint rallies in the swing state of North Carolina. North Carolina is important, and two ladies who know that quite well join us now via Skype, Diamond and Silk. Ladies, we appreciate your time on Newsmax Prime. And, of course, there is North Carolina and a map of the swing states. I mentioned earlier that Monmouth has it in a dead heat in North Carolina, but according to the Real Clear Politics average of polls, they say Mrs. Clinton is on top by 3 points in the Tar Heel state. Do you expect to see Mr. Trump quite a bit in North Carolina down the stretch, ladies?
Well, I know for the next 2 weeks he is going to be traveling all over, and yes, he is going to be here in the Tar Heel state of North Carolina. Yes. But to address Miss Obama, the First Lady, I think it's really sad to see the President and the First Lady campaigning for a crook. It is so sad. It makes them an accessory to Hillary Clinton's crimes. And that's the saddest thing. It's sad to see that. Sad. And this is the same woman that told us that if she can't run her own house, how is she going to run that White House? Now they're fond and cute friends now. It's just sickening.
It is kind of interesting how politics will take bitter dislike and turn it into some sort of affability. And there is a dramatic difference not only from 2008 and what you cited Mrs. Obama saying then about Mrs. Clinton to the difference in their likability ratings. According to Gallup, Hillary Clinton is only at 40% likability. That means 55% of Americans find her unlikable. Michelle Obama scores 64% likability. So I guess the obvious question is, ladies, will Mrs. Obama's likability, as reflected in the polls there, rub off on Hillary Clinton during these joint appearances?
No. People look at Crooked Hillary as a liar. They know she's a liar. Pay-for-play schemes, funneling and tunneling money through that Clinton Foundation. She is the one that orchestrated all of this protest at Donald Trump's rally where people got hurt. Somebody could have gotten killed. If the lady can't run her own house, how is she going to run that White House? That's the only thing we see when we see Crooked Hillary. She can't run her own house. She can't run the White House. She need to go back home to her own house.
That's right.
Ladies, this past Sunday in Raleigh, Hillary Clinton took the stage with Mothers of the Movement, women who have lost their children due to gun violence or encounters with police. Some say that Mothers of the Movement is an organization that really can ignite racial tensions. What is your take on them as we see video of those same mothers at the Democrat National Convention earlier this summer?
Well, it's so sad that Hillary Clinton is exploiting these women. She has emails where she's exploiting these women for her own gain.
And keep in mind, she had over 30 years to do something about the inner cities and the urban cities, and she's done absolutely nothing to help with the crime and so forth. So if she couldn't do absolutely nothing for them in 30 years, what can she do in 4 years? Absolutely nothing.
And the only time she cares about a black life is when she wants a black vote.
That's right.
Well, ladies, there are other stories in the news as we head down the campaign stretch. WikiLeaks keeps releasing emails from the Clinton campaign. So, ladies, every time the WikiLeaks emails are brought up, Hillary, Tim Kaine, and the rest of the Democrat crew says it comes from the Russians. You can't trust the Russians. Do you really think all this stuff is emanating from Russian intelligence?
No. This is coming right out of the Democratic camp. There is people on the Democratic side that is tired of all of the corruption that's going on up in D.C., especially with Crooked Hillary, her campaign, the DNC. They are tired of it, and they're leaking this information to WikiLeaks.
That's right.
So, no, this is not about Russia. This is about the Democratic Party and all of their scheming and beaming that they've been doing for years. Now the American people can see right through them. They are straight crooks, And some people need to be fired, even go to jail over all of this foolishness.
That's right. And notice that they aren't denying anything.
That's right.
They're blaming it on Russia, but they're not denying it.
And if it wasn't true, why did they fire the first DNC? Who was that lady? Why did they fire her if it wasn't true when the first email came out?
Yes.
They crooked.
Ladies, we played this earlier in the program for another panel, but I'd like to get your reaction. The chairman of the Republican National Committee, Reince Priebus, appeared on Face the Nation on CBS yesterday, and he says, hey, look, you need to understand what Donald Trump is concerned about in terms of voter fraud has a genuine foundation. Let's look and listen to what he said.
I'm telling you, we know this is not millions of people, but what we're talking about are things like, if you look at the Milwaukee Police report that came out about 6 years ago. The Milwaukee Police Department put out a 70-page report on election fraud in Milwaukee. This wasn't the Republican Party putting out the report. But I'm telling you is that this is real. So let's not go down this road where we're acting like this is some figment of people's imagination.
So there's Reince Priebus citing what went on a few years ago in Milwaukee, in his home state of Wisconsin. But ladies, in addition to those comments, I got to ask you, I've been getting emails from folks in North Carolina saying during early voting there, it's very curious who you see lining up to vote. Are you concerned not only about what Reince Priebus cited in Wisconsin, but what might be happening in your own backyard?
Well, I am concerned about people rigging the polls. I am concerned about that. When you have Soros own some of these here voting machines, when you have Obama letting illegals come in and registering them to vote and granting them citizenships, and when you have the media influencing our election. So we are concerned. That's why we're telling all of Donald Trump supporters to show up at the polls. I don't care if you wear red. Show up and make your voices be heard. Make your vote count. Show up. Show up.
Even if you have to tailgate at the polls. Tailgate.
Show up. Shut them down like we do his rallies. It be thousands on the inside and thousands on the outside waiting to get on the inside. And let's let our voices be heard through our vote.
And ladies, as we continue to hear your melodious voices, I just have to turn the tone of this discussion because it's been kind of tough today. But I know you've been active on the stump for Donald Trump now for several months. What has been the most pleasant surprise you have experienced out and about?
Oh my God, just meeting people. I'm talking about meeting people from all walks of life, all skin colors that says, you know what? I'm voting for Donald Trump because of you all. And that makes us feel so good. So that lets me know that our voices are resonating with people, and we want people to get out, and we want you to go vote and vote for Donald J. Trump. That's what we want you to do.
And it's also surprising to realize that we are famous.
Yes.
You know that we were famous. And the love that we receive from people, the genuine love that we receive from people as they begin to cry, as they're talking to us, the heartfelt love and hugs and kisses that we get from each other. That was just really surprising, I would say.
We love all of our fans out there. But we want everybody to get out and vote. This election is crucial. And it's going to take us to make this change, baby.
That's right. Let's
go
take our country back.
Just let me ask you once more, and I know I'm catching you by surprise on this. Is there one instance that stands out in your mind, head and shoulders above everything else that you've experienced, that really has left you with a good feeling about the campaign trail and about this campaign?
People that comes up and they're closeted and they say they're voting. They don't want nobody to know they're voting for Donald Trump, but they're really voting.
Be like, I'm voting for Donald Trump.
People that sneak up and tell us what they're going to do. People that when the posters call, they don't tell them who they're voting for. See, this is what the media is not counting on. These people, honey, people are going to show up in droves. They're going to vote, and we're looking for Donald J. Trump to be the 45th president of the United States.
And if I can also add, you know, Donald Trump sent down a truckload of supplies to the hurricane victims here in North Carolina. A lot of people, the media won't tell you this and won't talk about that, but he sent down truckloads of supplies for these people that lost everything here. And we was able to be involved in the Women for Trump
empowerment
tour to help pass out supplies that Donald Trump himself donated for those people. He didn't care what color you was. It wasn't about that. It was about my American people was down there suffering. Let me send some supplies down there for them. And we were so honored to be there to meet the people, and the people that was for Hillary Clinton but realized Hillary Clinton came down and did nothing for me. Now they are on the Trump train because they see that Trump cares about them.
The people, baby. He's putting the people first.
That's right.
And ladies, on that positive note, we thank you very much, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. YouTube sensations and Trump supporters Diamond and Silk. Up next, we'll hear what our friend Dick Morris has to say. It is our Prime Playback, and it is next as Newsmax Prime continues.